Hello, my name is Erica and welcome back to my channel. On my channel I mostly talk about my knitting, my crafting, various projects I'm working on. So if that interests you, welcome, enjoy, take a seat, get comfortable, and we'll talk about what I've been up to. So today is Friday, March 31st, I believe. 31st or 30th? 31st, I'm pretty sure. I'm coming to you from just outside Seattle, Washington. It's pretty chilly. I'm wearing my little turtleneck today. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And yeah, it's like, I want to say it's in the 50s, which, I just moved from Minnesota, so I should be, I don't know, warmer feeling maybe. I'm used to a lot colder weather, except, in Minnesota, you have your heat on all the time. And here, that's way more expensive. So it's a little colder inside the house. So I decided to bundle up today in my town sweater. This is a pattern I knit by Ozetta. And I think this is my favorite hand knit to date. So yeah, so I'm gonna be wearing this while we're chatting today. I do want to say welcome if you're new, and if you are returning, I'm so happy to have you back. So let's get into things. Today I have no finished objects. Darn. No finished objects and 3 works in progress that we'll talk about. So as far as works in progress, let's get started with the things that you've seen before. So first up we have my sweater that I've been working on. So I'd probably classify this as my main project currently. So this is my sweater number 15. This is a nice cable pattern by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I am making it using Wool of the Andes Sport Weight in the color Pampas Heather, which is like this gray green. And actually this is also made using Wool of the Andes, but this was in the worsted weight. I think this is my first sweater I've ever made, like full sleeve length sweater I've ever made with less than a worsted weight yarn. So it is taking me quite a while, and it's my first cable sweater. So here it is. It's shaping up pretty nicely. So last time I was still working on the body. So I have finished the body, I finished the ribbing, I did the tubular bind off, I did the collar, which I think makes it look so much more real once it has an actual neckline and not just like raggedy whatever is going on before you add the neckline. And then I actually have finished the whole first sleeve, which right now it does look a little funny, I will say. But I'm hoping blocking will make it work. Last time I was talking about how these armholes are just like gigantic, and I was really worried I wouldn't be able to like pick up the stitches and make it look right, but I think it actually worked out okay. And I think that once it's blocked and these are like, actually spread out, I think it'll be fine. So I'm really happy about that. That's a big relief. Yeah, so I tried this on yesterday and I'm like, and it's not, I don't even want to say that the fit is wrong, because I've never worked with cables. I can only trust what other people say, and I can trust my swatch. Like when I did my swatch, it did really, stop bunching out. It really loosened up and like lay a lot flatter. So I'm really hoping this will do that, because when I tried it on, it was very much like fitted and just looked kind of awkward, and like the sleeve isn't quite long enough, but also in the pattern it says the sleeve is going to grow about another like repeat worth, so I didn't want to make it way longer and do a whole other repeat and then maybe have it a whole repeat too long. So I'm kind of just trusting the pattern, hoping it will work out and turn into the oversized sweater of my dreams that I'm imagining this to be. But right now, it will just, if I stopped now and never blocked it, I mean, first of all, it would look ridiculous because it only has one sleeve if I stop now. But I mean, if it keeps looking how it looks now on my body, once I block it, I think I'll be a bit disappointed. So I'm hoping it really does loosen up and give me that positive ease and all of that. I did use different yarn than the recommended yarn, so hopefully that doesn't affect it too much, like in the way it behaves with blocking, how much it grows or not. So only time will tell, but I'm just gonna enjoy working on it. I'm gonna be proud of myself for making something that is a functional cable sweater, whether or not I love the finished product, and go from there. So I think that was all I had to say about this one. Oh yeah, well I only have one sleeve left, so I am going to try to just like knock that out in the next 5 days or so. I have a trip coming up and it would be really nice if I could have this done and then have it blocking while I'm on the trip. So I don't have to like impatiently wait for it to dry. It would just magically be dry when I got back. Wouldn't that be nice? So that's my hope. We'll see if it works out, because while I say this is my main project, and I think it is, I've also been like pretty distracted with another project that I'll talk about later. So let's move on to the next project, which is, I'm not actually gonna bring it out. It's my amazing seed stitch wrap. Say that 20 times fast. That would be a lot, actually. What do they usually say? Say it 3 times fast? Anyway, that is a pattern that is on the Pearl Soho website. It's a free pattern, and it's just a really basic seed stitch rectangle. Like, there's nothing crazy special about it. I wanted to use up some yarn I had in stash, which is the Loops and Threads Colors yarn. And last time I talked about how I was looking, and then there was a spot that just like didn't really look like it had a stitch, but it also didn't look like the stitch had dropped. So this week I made negative progress on that project. Just this morning I finally sort of took it out of the naughty corner and picked it up and picked back a few rows and went to fix the issue. And when I got there, I found what was wrong. And it was that basically this yarn, and I brought the yarn had very nearly broken. It was hanging on by a thread. And what's interesting is I don't think it was really that I want to say it was broken, but what I think had happened is that in the skein, the manufacturer had sort of plied, this is the end that was broken. I think they had plied 2 broken strands together very poorly. Because if it was a knot, I think I would have noticed, and I probably would have, cut it and not just worked over a knot. But I think they plied it in such a way that I didn't notice. But when I was, taking it apart, like this color, this is sort of like the darker brown color, was right next to, it was a lighter color. And this yarn transitions between colors fairly smoothly. So I think that the yarn was already broken, and then it was like fixed, and then in my project it came apart. So that's a bummer. So basically it was right near the end of the ball too. So basically I got to that part, picked past a little further, and then I just, the whole end of the ball, I was just like, whatever, I'm not gonna use this, I'll start the new ball earlier. So yeah, so this was just, I guess, like kind of like twisted together with the other half of the yarn that was already broken in the ball, and then it came apart on me. So that's kind of annoying. That's like not, I don't know. I don't think of that as very good quality control. And I know sometimes manufacturers have to put knots in yarn balls, etc. But this was, I don't know, kind of disappointing. Not a huge deal though, and the yarn's discontinued anyway, so maybe they were like, yeah, this yarn isn't really working out. We keep having to tie knots. Who knows? But that has now, I've now gone back. I've joined in new yarn. There should hopefully be no more breaks. And now I just have to, you know, knit on it eventually. I haven't been very motivated to work on that, but we'll see. Maybe now that it's not something I have to go back and fix, maybe it'll be better. Don't you just wish that going back and fixing things was as fun as knitting it in the first place? Why is it so much less fun? Anyway, that's that project. I'm not going to show it because, again, it looks like I did last time, except there's even less of it. So then my third and final work in progress is a new project that you have not seen. I know last time I was talking about how I finished my socks and I wanted to start something new, and it would have been responsible of me to start a small project, but no, couldn't possibly do that. I started something big, and I started a blanket. So this blanket, let me see if I can, it's gonna be hard to hold up. I'm just gonna put that out there. I started the Pilson blanket, which is a pattern. There's a free version and a paid version. And it is by TL Yarn Crafts. So that's Toni Lipsey, and she is amazing. If you don't follow her, you absolutely should. She knows so much about crochet, like her blog and her video tutorials, everything. She's just such an amazing resource on crochet and Tunisian crochet. So this is Tunisian crochet. And this is just a simple Tunisian crochet, join as you go, patchwork blanket, I think would be a fair way to describe it. And I've put in a lot of work on this. You're gonna see. I hope you're impressed because I'm impressed. Okay, look at this. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so here's where I am. I have done 3 whole rows, or columns, 3 whole columns dun, 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 of this blanket. So I think that's quite a lot. So it's done with Tunisian simple stitch. So it's really just like, it's mindless and it's meditative, and I have just been eating it up. Like, I've just been loving working on it. Join as you go makes it really nice, although I will say I have not woven in any ends. And there are 2 ends at each join corner. Ay, ay, ay. So I should probably start doing that. It would benefit me to do some of that before I finish. So I'm making this using, I wanted to get rid of some of my stash. I have a lot of acrylic yarn. Most of it's left over from blankets. I do have some in like lighter weight, like sport weight, that I save for when I want to make more like amigurumi type stuff. I don't really feel the need to like stash bust that because those are little projects and they take all sorts of different colors, and it's nice to just like, you see something cute, you want to make it, or you want to make a gift for someone, whatever it is. It's nice to just have the colors on hand, you know? But all of this leftover blanket yarn, it's been kind of weighing on my mind a little bit. So I'm really excited to get to use some. It's all acrylic, it's all, I don't know what the different kinds are. I think some of them are probably, I think this one is Red Heart Super Saver. This one is definitely Lion Brand Pound of Love. The light blue and the light purple, I don't know. Yeah, so just going through what I have. I did make a couple modifications to the pattern. I decided that I'm pretty sure this blanket, the free version, is designed as a baby blanket, and I was using the free version. There is a paid for version that has more sizes included, which is awesome if you want to follow that, that is really cool. I decided to just, you know, say I want it bigger, and I just decided to cast on more stitches for each square and more rows. You know, I made each square a little bigger. And then I think the original baby blanket size calls for it to be like, I don't know, 6 by 6 or something, 6 by 7. I decided to do 7 by 8, so 7 across, 8 tall. So right now I have 3 full across, and I'm halfway through this next one. So I'm actually halfway through this blanket. Yay, that's pretty cool. So it's great. And again, cold apartment, this is gonna be so snuggly because Tunisian crochet just has like a really nice density to it. I think it makes the most cozy blankets without taking as long as a knitted blanket would take. It's awesome. So yes, I made each of the squares bigger. I changed the size of the blanket overall with the number of squares, and then the other thing I did is that her pattern comes with sort of a layout for how you can put your colors to give it this really beautiful patchwork effect. And while I do love that, I had no idea what my yarn was, like quantities are, which actually I probably should have done the patchwork because of that. I don't really remember why I decided not to do that, but I didn't. And instead, what I did was I actually saw someone else do this on one of the Ravelry project pages where they had 4 colors besides the main color. So my main color is this gray. And then with their 4 contrast colors, they did diagonal rows alternating. So I think theirs was like an orange and a red were alternating going diagonal, and then every other row it would be the orange and the red, and then they had a blue and a green, and it just looked really cool. So I'm trying that here. So I have these dark purple, light purple sort of diagonal stripes, and then I have the dark blue, light blue. So that's what I am going for, and I'm hoping it'll all work out. That being said, I didn't do any math or anything with how much yarn I had. I have like, for my contrast colors, I have approximately 1 full skein of each of them, and they're pretty hefty skeins. But I don't know if they're gonna make it all the way through. So it's possible I might have to adjust my plan and like stop. Instead of doing 7 rows across, do 6. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Or maybe I'll just dig out another yarn that's like, probably not super close, but close enough, like another blue. It's a blanket. It's meant to keep me cozy. I'm not too worried about it being perfect, but wouldn't it be nice if I had enough? The one that I'm most nervous about not having enough of is this darker blue. That one, I might be able to get 1 or 2 more squares, which would bring us to, I've already done that color on row 4, so that would bring us to 5 across with that. We'll see. See how it goes. But I've been loving this pattern. Highly recommend taking a look. I think that this would be a really fun pattern if you're, even if you're new to Tunisian crochet. I think that this is a pretty digestible pattern because it is just that Tunisian simple stitch, and then it has the fun aspect of the join as you go, but that's really not too complicated at all. And again, Toni has really amazing tutorial videos, so I think you could take this on and make it however would be suited for you. Baby blanket, full-sized, mystery size, kind of like I'm doing. I have a plan, but we'll see if I get to it. Yeah, so those are my projects. That's what I've been working on. I'm pretty excited about at least 2 of the 3. I want to be excited about the shawl, but I just haven't been feeling it. Oh, maybe I should say, with Tunisian crochet, I am using, for this project, I'm using a 6.5 millimeter Tunisian crochet hook. And actually, here, I'll show you. So Tunisian crochet, you need slightly long hooks. You can get the like stick ones that kind of look like the metal knitting needles, but I have an interchangeable set. They're the Denise set, so they come with different cord lengths and then a bunch of different sizes. And I just find that the plastic works well on most, yarns. I also have a Tunisian crochet interchangeable set that's bamboo, and that one I feel like it just catches and it doesn't glide very well over a lot of the yarns that I end up using for Tunisian crochet. So yeah, I'd really recommend the Denise set if you want to try Tunisian crochet but don't want to invest a ton of money. I think at the time I bought it, it was like $30, which is pretty reasonable to get pretty much every size you need and all the cords. And you know, for knitting, the cords really matter, I think. Sort of the density of the cord. You want something that's like flexible, not too kinky, etc. For Tunisian crochet, I think if you're just getting started, these hooks will be, or these cords will serve you just fine. You know, there are absolutely nicer cords out there, but again, if you want to start and you don't want to invest a lot, I think this could be a really good option. Let's talk about life a little bit. So I've been here in Seattle, the Seattle area. I'm technically in Kirkland. I've been here for a little over a month, and I think I told you guys all when I announced I was moving, but I didn't leave my old job because it was an in-person job. It was not something I could do remotely. So I have, in the last couple weeks, started applying to jobs, which is no fun. Applying to jobs kind of stinks. Putting myself out there, you know, yeah, you're putting yourself out there and hoping someone sees something in you when they haven't met you. So I've been doing that. It's not very fun. I'm trying different things. I could look into jobs that are sort of more aligned with what I've been doing, and I might do that at some point, but right now, I guess it's kind of this is my adventure phase of life, right? Like I just moved across the country, so I'm gonna see what else is out there and just see if there's anything else that catches my eye in maybe a different industry and, you know, take the leap. So I've been doing that, had a couple of interviews. We'll see how it goes. What else? Ben he's my boyfriend. He has been doing his apprenticeship program. It's been really fun this week. Well, he's been working really hard. He's been studying for a test he had to take this week, and that test included some knot tying. And so it's really fun because he'd be watching his knot tying tutorials and I'd be watching like knitting tutorials or something. And I'd look over and see him confused about something. I'd be like, oh, let me help. Like, I understand what they're saying. I look at loops of rope essentially like all the time. So it's kind of fun to help him interpret some of those directions because I don't know, it really does like tie in, haha, fun with knitting. So that was kind of fun. And he just texted me a little bit ago. He passed his test, so that's really exciting. He was stressed about it, so that's really great. And then, yeah, next week I am going on a little trip. Not really a vacation, but I am going to Southern California to visit my family. I'm gonna be there for Passover and then also my mom's birthday celebration. We're gonna host it, or my uncle I think is someone's hosting it, I don't know. But our family's gonna be down there for Passover anyway, and so since everyone's coming together, we're gonna do a celebration for my mom just a few days later, so that'll be really fun. And then I'll come back and buckle down again on the job hunt. So with all of that said, I hope that you are having a great week. I hope you're staying warm enough wherever you are in this like almost spring, or I guess it is technically spring, but as spring really takes shape. Yeah, I hope you're having a great week. I hope your projects are being good to you. And I hope you're just enjoying whatever you're working on. So until next time, have a wonderful time, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.